Hello, this is a walkthrough video of a case that I wrote for my introductory finance students. We've just finished our unit on time value of money. So this case gives my students an opportunity to practice their time value of money calculations in a gamified framework. Just like all the other Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge cases, this case contains a series of 7 levels, and the levels get progressively more difficult as one moves through the case. And then there are also 5 bonus questions that can be completed at any point. Now, each one of the levels is going to contain a description of a problem, and then it's going to have a single example that takes a set of inputs, works the problem, and generates an output. So the objective here is to figure out a model that will work on the example and then quickly move through all 20 games in that same level, which effectively change the inputs and use your model to solve for the appropriate outputs there as well, and then just see how far you can make it in 30 minutes. So I'm going to work through the levels first, and I'll hit the bonuses here in just a moment. So this first level, we're computing the future value of a single deposit. And for this one, a couple of different ways you can do this one. You can do this with just a straight up math formula, or you can use an Excel formula. And I'll demonstrate both ways. So for the math formula, since we're calculating a future value, we need to take the initial deposit, or the present value, and we need to multiply it by 1 plus the discount rate. I'm going to anchor my discount rate so I can copy later, and I'm going to raise that to the power, reflecting the number of years that I'm going into the future. So there's my answer. I can see that that does match in the answer column for this level. I could also do an Excel formula. Excel formula is the FV formula, and that formula needs a rate. Again, I'm going to anchor that so I can copy later, a number of periods, a payment, which is 0 because there's no annuity involved here, and a PV. And notice this gave me a negative number. That's because the Excel function works like a financial calculator, and has a sign flip when we match inflows with outflows. And so I can fix that by going in here and making that PV a negative number. So put a negative sign there, and my answers match. So I'm going to copy these cells and paste them down. And now I've got the answers to each one of the games. So I can quickly copy and paste values over into the answer blanks, and I'm done with level 1. Move on to level 2. So here we're going to compute the future value of a savings plan. So this is the future value of an annuity. And I'll just use the FV formula here in Excel. So I'm going to use the FV formula. Since this is an annuity, so I'll say FV. I need a rate, anchor it with F4, number of periods, the payment. And I'm going to go ahead and enter this as a negative number, so my answer will come out positive, and I have no PV because I don't start with anything in the account. And so there is my future value. Copy that, paste it down. All the inputs change nicely, and there are my answers for all the levels. Move on to level 3. Here we're going to compute the present value of an annuity. And this is set up so that the first payment happens 1 period from today. And so this is an ordinary annuity. And so our PV formula will work right out of the box. So here I'm going to say PV. Give it an interest rate, a number of periods, a payment amount that I'm going to make negative so that I produce a positive number, and 0 is the FB because there's nothing happening at the end of the timeline. Here's my answer, matches what I'm given as the example. Copy that, paste it down. Now I've got the answers. Copy those, paste the values over, and I'm done with that level. Moving on to level 4, a little bit more complex. I've got the present value of a delayed annuity. So I still have an annuity, but the first payment is not in period 1. Instead, it's in period 3. And so I'm going to have 2 steps. So my step 1 will be the present value of the annuity. And then step 2, I'm going to discount it back to the present. So we'll start with present value of the annuity. I need an interest rate, number of periods, that's the number of withdrawals here. Payment is going to be minus payment amount, and that will get me to step 1. Step 2 is I need to take this value and discount it using this discount rate by the first withdrawal date minus 1. That's because if the first payment is at time 3, then the PV I calculated in step 1 is as of period 2. And so I need to discount it 2 periods to get to time 0. And so there is my answer, and it does match. Copy all this down. And there's my answers for all the levels. Paste it over. Level 5. And we're going to compute the annual savings amount needed to meet a goal. So we're going to calculate an annuity payment. So we're going to use the payment function. But this one's a little bit more complex because not only are we making equal payments each year, but we're actually starting with some amount. And so that starting balance is going to translate to a PV in my payment formula. And so I'm going to use a payment formula to solve this. So payment is going to be the formula. I need a discount rate, number of payments is this number. I anchor both of those so I can copy down here in a moment. So for my sign convention, I'm going to make all my deposits into the account. For this one, I'm going to make them positive numbers. So my PV is my initial deposit. My savings goal, that would be like a withdrawal from the account. So I'm going to pull 10,000 out. So that's going to have a negative sign. And so this should give me a positive number for my payment. And it does, and that matches. Copy that. Paste it down. There's all my answers. Paste my values over in the answer blanks. Done with that level. Now we'll go to a monthly car payment. So again, we're going to compute an annuity payment. The tweak of this one is I'm giving you an interest rate as an APY, and we have monthly payments. We'll have to do a little intermediate step with our rate. Let's use the payment function. My annual rate is going to be the interest rate, lock it in, divided by number of payments per year. Also lock that in so I can copy later. Number of periods is the number of years for this specific loan times the number of payments per year. And lock that in. The PV, we'll make this a negative number. So I'm going to go minus the loan amount. That will generate a positive payment for me because you're trading 25 in one direction for a payment in the other direction. And there is my answer. Solved it for everything. And there's my solutions. Now to the final level. So we're going to do a monthly mortgage payment again. Two other layers of complexity here. One, we've got a down payment, so we're going to have to find the starting balance of the loan. And then second, we're going to have to look up the interest rate because we've got this table here that shows us a different rate for different terms. So I've got the loan term here. So let's start by finding the starting balance. So that's going to be the home price times 1 minus the down payment. You make the down payment of 15%, you borrow the rest. Now we need the APR of the loan. That's going to be an X lookup. We'll look it up based on the loan term. I'm going to look in this array here, lock that in place so I can copy later. And my return array will be this APR list. So that returns, the formatting is off here, so I'll change that to percentage format so it looks a little bit nicer. And so I've got my correct APR. So 20, 26, so I've got 6. And so finally, I can calculate my payment function. So it's going to be equals payment. What is my rate? It's APR divided by 12. Number of periods is the loan term in years times 12. The PV is going to be minus the starting balance to generate a positive payment. And I see 1522 matches the 1522. So we'll copy these guys, paste them down here. There's my answers. And paste them over in the answer blanks. Go up and take care of the bonuses now. Suppose the level 1 account uses monthly compounding instead of annual compounding. Not counting example, what would be the largest future value across all games in the level? So let's redo this with monthly compounding. Monthly compounding. So I'm gonna and I'll do let's do the Excel formula here. So FV, my rate needs to be that number divided by 12. Number of periods is the number of years times 12. Payment is still 0, and present value is minus the initial deposit amount. So there's my future value with monthly payment. Control C, Control V. Okay, so there's my answers to all of the different games. Now let's go back and see what I want. What is the largest future value? I can figure that out with the max function. So max, and exclude the example. Max of all of these is 314739, 70839. Not counting the example, which game number level 2 has the largest future value? Let's do equals max. These are the future values. And there's the maximum future value, but that's not exactly what I want. I want to get the game number. So I'm going to X look up that value. We'll look in the answer blanks for that value. And we're going to return the game number column. Look at my return array. Close my parentheses, and there I have 39. Game number 39. Eyeball it. Yeah, it looks like the biggest number. Good. Okay, not counting the example, what's the total amount of deposits across all games? We'll just say that was in level 3. I can tell that is level 3 here because I've got level 3, but do a sum product. level 3 of the number of payments. And the payment amount. So sum product multiplies each row and then adds them together. Answer there. Not including the example, and this is level 6. So what is the total number of interest paid across all games? So what's the total interest? Let's see, level 6. So the total payment is going to be some product, the payment amount times number of years, multiply that by 12 because the payments are monthly. So I'm basically adding up all the payments. So that's what I have there. And the total interest is going to be that number minus the total amount borrowed. So equals that number minus some of that. We'll grab this number here, back up to the answer blank. Paste it in. And finally, bonus 5. In the mortgage rates table, all rates are APRs. What's the lowest effective annual rate? So go back down to level 5. And, well, I know it's going to be this one because it's the lowest APR. So I know my EAR is going to be 1 plus the APR divided by 12. Need to raise that to the 12th and then subtract 1. There it is. Paste it in there. And I'm all done.